Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel. So today I have the second instalment of my Snakes and Ladders TBR for you. If you don't know what that is, I'll link a video down below that explains everything in more detail. But essentially, every month I play a little game of Snakes and Ladders with myself to decide what my TBR is going to be. So I did this for the first time last month. This month, this video is going to be a lot shorter. It's just going to be the Snakes and Ladders TBR. I am taking part in some readathons, but I'm going to do separate videos for them. And yeah, so without any further ado, let's go to the footage of the board. Okay, so I have my new setup with my handy little tripod. This isn't perfect, but it's probably a lot better than last week, at least. Last month. I actually messed up on my last video and I went backwards. However, I still haven't filled in 29, which is what the prompt would have been. So I'm starting from space 29 this month, but I am gonna do an additional run, so I'm gonna roll 6 times to make up for the fact that I messed up last month. So first roll, it is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm on Anticipated Thriller. So I landed on Anticipated Thriller, which means I pick one of the thrillers that I said at the start of the year was one of my most anticipated thrillers to read. There were 10 on that list. I haven't read any of them yet. And the one I'm going to go with is You Don't Know Me by Imran Manhood. So this is a bit of an unusual thriller. It's about a guy who is on trial and he's basically being his own lawyer, and he's going to present, I think it's 12 or 13 pieces of evidence, and each evidence kind of unveils a bit more of the story of what actually happened. It sounds really intriguing. It's got a lot of praise, but it's also potentially one of those books that's a bit more literary than I usually like, so I'm intrigued to see what I think of this. So I didn't discuss what happens if I reach the end. I am going to do it, so I have to loop round, and if I ever land on that queer space, which is the final space, like if I roll the exact number and land on it, I'm gonna celebrate somehow. I might buy a new book. This was suggested to me in the comments of my last video, and I thought it was a really cool idea, so that's just how it's gonna kind of go. So another 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That takes me to 3, and I go up this ladder, and I get random cover colour. So I landed on random cover colour, and which is where I randomly generate a colour and have to read a book with that colour cover. I got purple, which is one of my favourite colours. However, there's not many books on my TBR that are actually purple, so I have gone with Never Have I Ever by Joshilyn Jackson. Can't say that for some reason. This is an arc. I think it comes out in July or potentially August. And this is a thriller about a woman who's got a very ordinary suburban life, and she's very happy with her life, but she's got a dark past. She goes to a book club one evening, and a new woman shows up at this book club. She's very charming, and they start playing this game, and then it becomes apparent that this woman knows about our main character's past, and she starts blackmailing her, and they both start playing like this game of wits with each other. It sounds really good. I think it's based around the game Never Have I Ever. I assume that's why things get revealed at the book club, which I love thrillers based around creepy games. They're fantastic. So yeah, this sounds really good. Okay, the third prompt. 3, appropriate. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've landed on contemporary. So I landed on contemporary, which is not my favourite genre. However, I have the perfect book for this, and that is Radio Silence by Oseman. I acquired this really recently. I just hauled it. There's a couple of queer themed readathons in June that I am definitely going to take part in at least one, and this is a book about a girl who basically does nothing but study, She meets a guy and they're friends. There's specifically no romance in this. And there's also something a podcast plays an important part, and I'm not sure quite what part the podcast plays, but I cannot wait to read this. I've heard such good things. My partner loves it, and yeah, I know I'm gonna love it too. So the fourth prompt, let's hope it's better than contemporary. 2. Making sure I definitely go the right direction, and I have lie or liar in the title. The next score I landed on was to read a book with lie or liar in the title. I have hundreds of thrillers with this, but I have gone with The Marriage Lie by Kimberley Belle. So I was going to read this a while ago for Buzzwordathon and I never got round to it, but it still sounds really interesting, so I do want to read it. This is about a married couple, Iris and Will. One day Will's meant to be on a business trip, however he is on a different plane than he's supposed to be, and the plane crashes and he is killed. So Iris starts looking into his life and she realises that he was lying about a lot of things. She kind of uncovers stuff and she realises she didn't really know her husband at all. I'm in the mood for thrillers this month, as you might have been able to tell. I know this TBR is random, but I am steering more towards thrillers, and I particularly like a good domestic thriller, so hopefully this one will be one of those. Right, 5th prompt now. Almost there. 3 again. 1, 2, 3. That's a snake. That's not good. Go down the snake. Oh, okay. I have landed on author I hate. Next square is an interesting one, and this is to read a book by an author I hate. So what this means is that there are certain authors that I've read work by them and I did not like it. However, they have other books that I would like to read and I'm very interested in reading. So for this one, I have picked When She Was Bad by Tammy Cohen. I read Dying for Christmas by Tammy Cohen, which is one of the most interesting thrillers I've read. Well, it wasn't really interesting, it's just bad, let's be honest. But When She Was Bad is about a group of people who work in an office together and a new boss starts, and then it just says like they don't know each other as well as they thought they did, and one of them's capable of murder and you don't know which. It sounds interesting. I've got a couple of office themed thrillers on my TBR. I haven't read any of them, but I really like the idea. I think it's an unusual take on the kind of domestic thriller situation. So yeah, a bit nervous about this one, but hopefully it'll be better than the other one was. So I'm way back at the bottom now. Final roll for this month, extra roll because I messed up last time. And 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 2018 release. And the final prompt for this month is to read a 2018 release. So this is one of the books that at the start of the year I made a video that was 2018 releases that I wanted to read in 2019. And for this one again I've picked another recent acquisition, and it is What If It's Us by Becky, Albertalli and Adam Silvera. Again, I just told this, again it's a queer contemporary like Radio Silence, and I've picked it because of the Queer Readathon in June. This is about Arthur and Ben. Arthur is just kind of temporarily in New York. Ben has just broken up with his boyfriend and he's mailing back his old boyfriend's things when he meets Arthur, and there's kind of like a little spark between them, and I think it's about basically whether or not they can maintain a relationship at this current point in their lives when they're in these specific places and yet they're both really attracted to each other. So that is all the ones I'm going to roll for this month. Like I said, these aren't all the books I'm going to read this month. In June there's a couple of readathons. I'm going to do separate videos for them. I'd also really like to do a buddy read. I've only done one buddy read previously with Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books. I want to get more into buddy reading because I've noticed loads of people talking about books that I want to read. So even if it's not on this list, if you want to do a buddy read with me, please contact me through Twitter or leave a comment down here or whatever. Even if you can't do it in June, I'd be happy to do it at some point this year. I just want to get to know people better, and I think a buddy read's a really fun way to do that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, it helps me out massively. And I hope to see you next time.